Well, I went to see a great play today with my girlfriend. We went to see Annapurna, and this is a play. It's a two-person play, and I heard about it because a guy that I work with, don't really work with him, but he's in one of the accounts that I go to, so I talk to him all the time. He was in that play. Interesting story. That was a super play with a two-person play, but interesting story about this guy. I would see him, and he worked in the warehouse area of this big, factory, and they make slaughterhouse equipment. Not that that's important, but it's a pretty freaky factory. It's actually the inspiration for the Jenkins Company that I used in Quantum Black when I played with Eloy and Jose and Jim, and we had this place they went to, which is completely irrelevant. But anyhow, this guy would be, he's a little grumpy sometimes, and he's, zipping around with his cart, grabbing different parts or putting different parts away in the warehouse. It's a crappy job. It really is. And, sometimes he could be pretty, a little saucy. Not to me, but just because kind of like, what the F is this, that, or the other thing. And then I found one day, I saw on Facebook this ad for this theater company in Old Saybrook. And I was like, sure enough, it looks like this guy. And there's this play called The God of Hell. And I asked one of the other guys that worked there, is that him? He goes, yeah, that's Brian. He's a thespian. So I couldn't believe it. And apparently he has this huge CV. He's worked all over the place as an actor, as a director in Chicago, in Stony Creek, here in Connecticut, and some other places, done some directing and all that kind of stuff. And, went to see him in that play, and he was great, and the play was great. And then this play, Annapurna, was something else. Really, really freaky two-person play. But I realized something. I realized why he is madder than I felt he ought to be. It's because he's in the wrong place. This guy's a great actor. He has this huge love for the theater, as well as a bunch of other things. And I've talked to him a bunch since. Like, we actually become quite friendly. And but he's in the wrong place. And that's one of the reasons that he gets so pissy at the warehouse, is because he doesn't belong there. Sure, he knows how to do those kind of jobs, but that's not like his calling. And like every second he spends there, in the wrong place. And I thought of that, I'm projecting, of course, myself onto him, because as I do the job that I do, I realize I'm in the wrong place. I should be playing music. I should be monetizing playing role-playing games, or writing role-playing games, or, doing something that I love, rather than doing these jobs that I cannot stand. And very often in life, we found ourselves in the wrong place. I found myself in the wrong place. Certainly been in relationships, even marriages, where I stayed past the expiration date, where everything's kind of screaming to me, you're in the wrong place. And it was comfortable. It would have taken too much effort and been too uncomfortable, been too confrontational, too scary, too risky to do something else. And I look back at my entire life, and so many times it was very clear to me that I was in the wrong place. Been in the wrong math class, if you remember that story. But realizing this is not exactly the direction I want to go to, and because I didn't want to get rejected, because it was comfortable for some reason, or I didn't want to go through the discomfort of exiting. I didn't want to take the risk of having, what will I do now? What will I do now, financially? What will I do now in terms of friends or socially? Or what will my identity be now? All those kind of things. I stayed in the wrong place for far too long and suffered for it. And so one of the cool things about life is, even when we get to be an ancient person like myself, at the ripe old age of 56, I'm going to hold on to 56 as long as I can, because I'm going to be 57 on April 12th. And yes, you can send me presents if you'd like. That's okay. One of the cool things is we at least get to reinvent, where we're going, or realizing that we're in the wrong place, doing the wrong things, and can adjust it. And that goes for, big, huge life things and relationships. And that goes for like gaming groups, or I'm in the wrong band, or I'm doing, there's some bands that I'm playing with, and I'm not the official member, but the relationship has come to the point where I really need to exit, because there are things about it that are put me in the case where I'm in the wrong place. I had another friend just talk to me a little while ago. He's in this situation where he's working for a company, and the direction of the company, there are some ethical issues going on with that company, and he's realizing that even though he is in a very convenient place with this company, that he's constantly, going head to head with the owner or the person making the decisions in this company, where, it's becoming more and more clear to him that he's in the wrong place. And of course, he has to make that decision. I can't make that decision for him. But it's amazing, as I talk to people and I think back on my life, talking to all kinds of friends, all kinds of acquaintances about various situations where people are practically screaming to you, I'm in the wrong place. This is, there's something, I don't belong here. This is the wrong thing. I don't fit here, or this doesn't fit me. And we stay. And that kind of blows. And so, it's uncomfortable sometimes to leave the game group, leave the band, leave the relationship, leave the job, do something completely different. I love it when people say, I'm doing a total 360. That's the same way, dude. But you need to figure out a new direction for whatever it happens to be, from the big to the small. And that can be scary and uncomfortable, but there's nothing like that realization that I'm in the wrong place. And like, what do I do now? Unfortunately, my girlfriend's kids were in the wrong place today. I really thought that Ollie would love it, being a theater person, and both kids hated the play. Well, it was kind of more adult play. Really powerful play, by the way. Annapurna is something else. Really, really hit home in a lot of ways. And I don't want to spoil it, but there were certainly parts of my history that it kind of impacted or awakened. And so it's really, really good drama. So if you ever get a chance to see that play, I would recommend going to see Annapurna. Pretty cool. But yeah, it can be tough though. I had plenty of experience of, okay, well, I'm in the wrong place now. What the hell do I do? It was certainly like that with active addiction, where it was obvious that I was in the wrong place, and making the effort to get out of that and to try a different way of life was incredibly scary. And it was just one of those things where it's hard to relate unless you've been there, but it's this idea that I've broken something inside myself, and I'm looking through this plate glass window and I'm looking at people living a normal life, and I don't think I can ever get back there again. I busted something. And it's very uncomfortable making that transition back into normal life, regardless of whether, you're on the streets, which I was not, or, you're realizing that you've got a serious drinking problem, but you're still living at home, and all the window dressings look okay. Still very difficult to completely make a huge change in your life that way. But there's many other times I've had to leave relationships, in the wrong place. So regardless of what it is, I think if there's any message in this at all, because I just felt compelled to jump on after watching Annapurna, because it made me think of this actor, and made me think of I don't know what he'll ever do, or if he's just happy doing what he does, but you could tell sometimes he's filling his hours with something that's not really doing it for him except giving him a paycheck. And I can relate, which is why I'm trying to chug along, get myself in a position where I can do whatever I'm doing. I actually dig it, and I don't wake up every day and say to myself, I'm going to the wrong place. I have that kind of anxiety now as I go to work, and it's not that bad of a job, just the wrong place. And so my uncomfortableness ramps right up, which is kind of like a message. Yeah, you shouldn't be here. And certainly issues lately in my company, with the what's the word I'm looking for? The culture, the atmosphere, other clues. The clues are out there all the time. Is this right for you? I firmly believe that, and I don't mean in a mystical way. I believe that generally messages are out there, or the feedback, or the information, or whatever you want to call it. The evidence is out there. Is this the right place for me or the wrong place for me? Sometimes it changes, but I believe that we get the feedback from in whatever situation we're in. Yeah, not the right place for you, or this no longer serves me. That's another one. Sometimes it's just like, this served me once, doesn't serve me now, and so it's time to make a huge change. But yeah, that's uncomfortable. And probably the most uncomfortable thing about that realization, deciding, you know what, I'm going to change what I'm doing, once again, whatever the hell it is that there are some things where you can make an abrupt change. Like as far as using, well, I stopped, and there were other things I had to do, but there was a huge abrupt change. Other times you can make changes and the results don't come for a while. You can't just completely uproot yourself and leave where you are. I can't just say, take this job and shove it. You know what I mean? Or if I decide I want to sell this house and I don't want to live in Connecticut anymore. I want to live in Canada for some bizarre reason. I can't just move tomorrow. There'd be steps I would have to take, and it could take quite some time. If I want to get slim again, like I was in my videos a few years ago, and I'd like to, if I start, the thing is, yesterday I ate a salad, I did take a walk, and damn it, I'm still fat. What the hell? The hell? Sometimes getting yourself to the right place takes time. And, that's not always fun because it's easy to give up. It's easy to give up and just out of the hell with it, or just decide, you know what, I'm just too old. It is too late for me, son. It's one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves all the time. I said some things were too late 10 years ago. I did them. It wasn't too late. And there were other things I said, it's too late for me 10 years ago. I didn't do them. And guess what? It's 10 years later. And I see other people that have made some certain changes in their lives that I should have done that. Could have done that. Same starting point. So you can either say, well, it's too late for me now, or 10 years later, well, I'll be 66. And in 10 years and 2 weeks from now, I'll be 67. But who's counting? You get the idea. So yeah, very important to every once in a while take stock of where you are. The messages are always out there. There's always that evidence. Yep, wrong place. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be doing this. This is not the place for me. Not the relationship for me, job for me, whatever the hell it is. Not the right band, not the right gaming group, not the right career. And then it's like having the guts to say, okay, well, now I got to do something about it. Scary, rough, yeah. Hard work sometimes, yeah, absolutely. But we're worth it, aren't we? We're worth the effort. I think I am. You are. Why the hell not do it? Are you in the wrong place? All right, kids, that's it. I think I'm going to quit blathering and see what else I can get done here today. One of my guitars has a little bit of fret sprout because it was at Susan's house, and apparently the humidity there is actually really, really dry. I kept a little bit more humid here. I think it should be okay with a couple days here. I think because it just started a little bit when the wood starts to shrink, when it gets really dry. Here in New England, the humidity is just really up and down. So there's a lot of truss rod adjustments going on. But I've actually must have been just dry enough at her house to start a little fret sprout on one of the guitars. So I brought it back here. So hopefully I can get away with just putting it back in a humid room and not have to file the fret edges, if you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, whatever. Does it matter? So yeah, if you're in the wrong place, go do the thing. Get the hell out of there. Because life is too short. We get one. And one of it just keeps hitting me over and over again lately. It's like one of the biggest tragedies is, being at some point later in life and realizing, I was in the wrong place for a long time. I knew it and I didn't do a damn thing about it because I was too scared to. It was too uncomfortable. Or because I didn't think I could. That's probably the biggest tragedy. Tragedy, yeah. Is that, and that's a lie we tell ourselves. Not true. It's not true. We are capable of far more than we think we are. Anyhow, I will talk to you later, kids. Is there a chat thing? Can I even see? Is there a chat? People are probably aren't chatting because I'm not that exciting. Take it easy, kids. Bye.